And welcome back to Game Escape. Today, I'm here to talk about Cave, the wonderful shoot-'em-up producer out of Japan, and look at some of their Xbox 360 titles. Just a little bit of background information on Cave. It was founded in 1994 and really achieved prominence with the release of Dodonpachi in 1995. The shoot 'em up or shmup genre, the games are short, they're difficult, and they're expensive. But they are some of the most beautiful and challenging video games on the market. All of these games have a wonderful 2D hand-drawn art style and really gorgeous bullet patterns. The bullet hell style of game, it succeeds by being seemingly impossible. The patterns fill the screen, and it seems like no one of any skill level could possibly navigate them. But you can, due to the fact that you only die if the bullets touch a very small point at the center of your character, the hit point. And thus you can find a correct path or many correct paths through the bullets and succeed where it might seem like you are doomed to fail. I think that's really the success of the genre. Many of the games I'm going to show you today are available for iOS at prices that are expensive for iOS but a lot cheaper than importing these games. But if you can, I suggest importing them on the Xbox 360. The games from Japan that I will show you are all region-free, and I play them on a Dream Arcade's, or with the Dream Arcade's Dream Stick, which offers really a superior experience to what you're going to find on the iOS. And sadly, Cave, according to what I have read, may be going out of business, and on May 30th they're going to release the last installment of Dodonpachi. So if that is indeed true, I think it's right now to sort of pay homage to this great company and to look at some real, I think, hidden gems on the Xbox 360. The first game we're going to look at is Dodonpachi Resurrection. Japan Dodonpachi Dai Fukatsu from Rising Star Games. This was only made available in Europe, and the game offers a couple of different modes. Novice, Range A, Range B, and a special Xbox 360 mode, which changes the balance of the gameplay and offers a couple different playing styles. I use the strong style for this recording, which balances sort of the laser gun and the bomb ability. And as you can see from this video, Cave, this is probably Cave at their most beautiful art style. You can see the hectic bullet patterns, the gorgeous hand-drawn cityscapes. A couple of the gameplay mechanics here. You can tap the fire button for a burst shot, or you can hold it and get a concentrated laser shot. And then, of course, there's also a screen-clearing bomb that you can also use. So the key here is to balance these three weapons, particularly the laser and the power or spread shot. The laser, sacrifices speed for accuracy and power, and the spread shot will give you greater coverage on an enemy or across the screen with less power. Dodonpachi Resurrection is just a simply fantastic experience, and I actually picked this one up, I believe, from Amazon Germany for about the equivalent of like $35, and it was just a tremendous pickup. Again, a highly recommended Cave shooter. Next up is Mushisama Futari, released in November of 2009 for the Xbox 360, in Japan only. A similar game to Dodonpachi. Of course, all of these games are essentially very similar, but here we have a more sylvan setting rather than the urban military landscape that we saw in Dodonpachi. Mushisama Futari offers what I believe to be crazier bullet patterns, perhaps the craziest out of all the games that I'm showing you in this video. We still have a similar power-up system. Power-ups will increase the spread of your shots and give you these small helper ships, which fire their own bullets, and you can still hold down the shoot button to get a more focused shot. One of the things that I really enjoy about this game are the uniquely conceived challenging boss battles. Each boss is sort of crazy, over the top, and pretty difficult, and you get a sense of achievement when you beat them. Now, I think the one thing that's fair to mention about this game and all the games that we're talking about today is that you don't need to be a super skilled player to play them. I mean, you can play with numerous continues, unlimited continues. You can increase the number of bullets you get, the number of bombs you get. So it's, not an impossible task to play these games, and I'm not the most skilled player in the world, but I think the nice thing about the entire bullet hell or manic shooter genre is that they can put you in a kind of trance. After a while, you just kind of stare at the bullet patterns and you navigate the field almost unconsciously, and you just start to appreciate, the beauty of each pattern, until, of course, you're snapped out of it by being killed. And again, this is all made possible by the fact that the bullets can sort of fly over you. I mean, you will only be destroyed if they hit the hit point in the center of your character. In the case of Mushisama Futari, it is a glowing green orb with kind of a halo revolving around it. So this game is kind of manic, but it also can be very relaxing. And if you don't believe me, try playing this game or any of the games in this video after you've had a long week and perhaps a few drinks in your system. It is actually a great stress reliever. And Mushisama Futari is a perfect example of how relaxing some of these games can be if you want them to be relaxing. Believe you can get this one from places like PlayAsia or eBay. If it's not out of print, it's going out of print fairly soon, so grab it while it is still available. And rounding out kind of the big three import games of this video is Pelada 2 from February of 2010, again exclusive to Japan. This is the sequel to Pelada, a bit difficult to pronounce, Pelada 2004 for the PlayStation 2, which was itself a sequel of Esperado, appeared in 1998 in the arcades. The 360 version has a couple of different modes. You have Black Label, Arrange, and Xbox 360 modes. I'm recording here from the Black Label version. This game probably has, in addition to the gorgeous visuals, I think the best soundtrack of the three that we've seen thus far. Just really, really upbeat techno-style soundtrack, and again, just terrific bullet patterns. Right up there with Mushisama for the best visuals out of all these games I'm presenting to you today. A couple of interesting gameplay mechanics. All of these games, but particularly Pelada, have a tactical slowdown feature. And here it allows you to briefly analyze a bullet pattern and find a way through it. And it also causes bullets to hover over your character's hit zone, allowing you to move away and at the same time note your mistake, or mistakes in pattern memorization. But the more you take advantage of this, the less gems you'll be able to collect and the lower your score will be. Also, a slightly different mechanic from the previous two games is that this one has automatic rapid fire. So you just hold down the shoot button and you get the rapid fire bullets, and rather than a bomb, it gives you something called a guard barrier, which will allow you to absorb the enemy attacks, and then you can release kind of a powerful shot to clear the screen. Bullets change color, slow down a bit also. This gets depleted, however, with use. Played this on the iPad, and it really is a great game that holds up, but this is an example of one where you really do want the arcade joystick and a surround sound system to really enjoy it. Again, this is one of the ones that you want to look on eBay for. Perhaps PlayAsia also might have some stock of this, but again, going out of print quickly if it hasn't done so already, and an absolute must-have if you like this style of game. Now we're going to move into some titles that are a little bit easier to obtain, the first of which is Guwange, available for Xbox Live as of November 2010. This was originally an arcade game. I believe it was published by Atlas in around 1998. A little bit different than we've looked at before. The setting is kind of like feudal, or an alternate version of feudal Japan, which has come into contact with a spirit world, and the game offers two different gameplay innovations. We do have two shot types, again rapid fire and steady fire, but this time the steady fire option releases a spirit in the game called a Shikigami, and this spirit character is chained to your character and can attack enemies from the opposite direction in which you're shooting. And he also acts as a shield of sorts, which will allow you to slow down the bullets headed toward you and sort of move out of the way. And if you kill enemies in the path of these bullets, which have been slowed down by your Shikigami, they will explode and turn into coins. Also interesting here is a more maze-like playing field. The screen not only scrolls up and down, but also left to right, and you have to get through some pretty tight corners at certain points in the game, which really, I think, adds just a little curveball, even for more advanced players. And because of that, with this ability to kind of have a second character chained to you, you can actually move in one part of the maze and kill characters in another. So it offers a little bit more strategy as well. It is a short game, but it is reasonably affordable at 800 Microsoft points, and if you have any interest in the genre and you just want to see what Cave has to offer before importing any of the more expensive titles, I would highly recommend that you check out Guwange on Xbox Live. And now we're going to transition to two side-scrolling shooters released by Cave for the Xbox 360. I'm going to take these in reverse order, beginning with Akai Katana, released in May of 2012 here in North America. It's interesting. I have always preferred vertical shooters. And to me, side-scrolling shooters just don't work as well, and again, that is purely personal taste. But I just feel that the Cave formula is better with the vertical orientation. Nonetheless, it's a very interesting game and a very, very technical game. As the main character, you have a plane, but it's chained to an orb which can also fire bullets. And the key gameplay mechanic here is the need to position both yourself and the orb in the most optimal way on the screen to kill as many enemies as possible. And this is really hard to do, particularly when you're trying to change your position and your orb's position within a given bullet pattern. I found it visually confusing at times, as I typically try to use my own stream of bullets to orient myself on the screen, and having, two bullet streams from two different objects made this much harder to do. Despite, my own personal aversion to side-scrollers, this game has great music, it has a terrific art style, and memorable boss fights where these bosses use huge military vehicles to aid in their attacks. Right now it's basically a budget title, and despite the difficulty, I really do think it's a must-have for the Xbox 360. I found it for under $20 at a GameStop, and probably even cheaper online or on eBay. To me, this is a definite pickup for the Xbox 360 at that price point. And if you like side-scrolling shooters, I would imagine that this will keep you busy for a number of hours. And the final side-scrolling shooter, and indeed the final game that we're going to look at today, is Death Smiles, released in June of 2010 here in North America. This is a strange one. Basically, the theme here is Halloween meets kind of a cute anime girl aesthetic. If you're into that, it probably works really well. I find it to be a bit strange. The key gameplay mechanic here is that you shoot left to right and right to left. And I think, to Cave's credit, the transition is really, really smooth. It doesn't feel in any way difficult or disjointed. Like Akai Katana, the player has an ally chained to him or her. Here it's called a familiar, and it moves in opposite directions from your movement, although I found positioning it was a little bit less challenging than in Akai Katana, and I was able to really move through the game at a more brisk pace without dying as much as I usually do in Akai. This was, I think, one of the first shooters that Cave released here in North America. It was an attempt, for the Xbox 360, I should point out. It was an attempt to see how successful the genre could be, and so the game is accessible early on, but it quickly becomes a little bit more difficult as you progress through it. It has certainly a unique art style. It's not as engaging, I think, as the other games on this video, but it is a unique one. Again, this one's going to be budget priced right now if you can find it. There is a special edition which has, I think, a decorative plate for the Xbox 360. I think a definite pickup at anywhere under $15 if you're interested in the genre, and particularly in the side-scrolling shooter genre. And an example of the great art direction and creativity that has really been on display in all of these games. So if you've been thinking about picking up any of these titles, I highly recommend that you do so. They are short. I mean, you can finish any of these in 25 to 35 minutes, but they have incredible replay value. And again, it's that strange mixture of tension and kind of the manic elements of these games, but also of fun and relaxation. They are, I believe, the only games on the market that really offer something like that, and so they're really incredibly unique. If you can find them on eBay, or the side-scrollers, if you can still find them out, in a GameStop, do pick them up. And if Cave is indeed exiting the market, I think we just have to thank them for years and years of absolutely excellent shoot 'em up games.